Tankers, and welcome to another episode. Maybe you're surprised, and maybe you're not, that I haven't really said anything about the motives or reasons why I think the shooter decided to unleash the calculated attack in Arizona. Well, the reason is this. I wanted to know more facts. I wanted a better picture of what he might have been thinking, believed, felt, before he committed the crime. But I think we know that the kid was seriously unstable. Period. I don't think there's anything else in this in the equation that drove this kid to do this act. I mean, come on. Did the left really think that America would believe that colorful maps with targets on them in Sarah Palin's Alaska have motivated a man to plan mass murder?
We have an electorate that doesn't always pay that much attention to what's going on.
Oh, okay. Well, seriously, beyond the motive, we need to be extremely careful at how we tread from here. Lawmakers from both sides have called for some scary First and Second Amendment rights censors. For example, in the wake of the shooting, the National Hispanic Media Coalition has used the incident to call for the FCC to update its definitions of hate speech in media. Quote, examine the extent and effects of hate speech in media and non-regulatory options for counteracting the violence that extreme rhetoric breeds, a.k.a. let's start labeling stuff as hate speech. Let's let the FCC label stuff as hate speech. Do you see a problem there? And we all know what the sheriff residing over the investigation said.
And I think it's time as a country that we need to do a little soul searching, because I think it's the vitriolic rhetoric that we hear day in and day out from people in the radio business and some people in the TV business, and what we see on TV and how our youngsters are being raised, that this has not become the nice United States of America that most of us grew up in.
Or how about what Representative Robert Brady said, Democrat from Pennsylvania? He says he has no knowledge about what motivated the shooter to attack Giffords and the others, yet he still wants legislation that bans the use of certain imagery when talking about congressional targets. Quote, I'm not a psychologist, obviously. All I'm saying is that you can't put a bullseye or a crosshair on a member of Congress. End quote. Well, first of all, there was never a target on her picture. There was never a big red thing on her head. I showed you the map at the beginning of the blog. It was on the district saying that it was vulnerable to swing red. I mean, does this mean that if I use the analogy of making an A on a Calculus 2 test is as likely as the 300 that stood against Persia is hate speech? Am I inciting violence? Come on. Or how about this? Representative Peter King, Republican of Long Island, announced that he would introduce a gun safety bill that would prohibit people from carrying a gun within 1,000 feet of the president, vice president, members of Congress, and federal judges. Now, you can make an argument with the president or the vice president, but members of Congress and federal judges, does that mean if a congressman or judge drives down my street, my home will be searched for weapons? Not even after Kennedy was assassinated, which was closer than 1,000 feet, did they suggest something like this. If the kid couldn't use a gun, then what about a knife? Giffords was shot at point-blank range. Now, there is no arguing that this was a tragedy, but we can't regulate our way out of the next tragedy. Being a public servant has its risks. Ask any soldier. But when a man is KIA, that unit doesn't cower or place blame. They continue the mission. Thanks for watching, everyone. Send me your questions, drakekiley@gmail.com. This is a touchy subject, and I'd like to hear everyone's opinion on this. And I'll talk to you guys soon, empowering you to take back this country. Oh, wait. Is that hate speech?
Walking around the room singing stormy weather at 57